Senator Xenophon.
To summarise and to finish the debate. Yep. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Deputy President. Can I first go to Senator Bilic's contribution to the debate? It was short, not so sweet. I don't think it addressed the issues, and it's not a criticism of Senator Bilic. That's the position of the opposition in relation to it. There are a number of serious issues in relation to these regulations. This is an opportunity lost not to fix up what is clearly a most unsatisfactory situation that still exists. In relation to Senator Fawcett's contribution, I say this, and hopefully this won't damage Senator Fawcett's pre-selection chances with the Liberal Party. We are lucky to have him in this place, given his considerable expertise in aviation safety, and the contribution he has made on Senate committees in this issue has been outstanding, and I'm very grateful to work with him, and I think that's both sides of the chamber can safely say that. But the point he makes to rebut this motion is in fact are points that can be used to support it equally or with greater force. Senator Fawcett acknowledges quite openly that the length of time to change regulations is unsatisfactory, that the industry should be more involved in the process, and that he says, in his usual diplomatic way, I quote, "The track record of engagement with industry for CASA has not been a wholesome one." Well, that's an incredibly polite way of putting a situation where industry is incredibly frustrated, industry is concerned, and the pilots are gobsmacked that this level, that we are left with these regulations that do not address fundamental issues of fatigue. And I've outlined them in my earlier contribution. So that there are real problems in the regulation-making process, as Senator Fawcett acknowledges with his expertise and his involvement in these issues. We need to have a mechanism to deal with these. The independent scientific panel is something that would see a way through this, and that is what we need to do. To say that we are no worse off than we were doesn't address the fundamental issue that these regulations are simply inadequate. While this instrument does bring in some respects, to a relatively safer position than the previous regulation, we must take this opportunity to address the significant concerns within this instrument. In many respects, there are huge gaps in safety, and the concern of pilots, those that we trust to fly us from A to B around this great continent, are still there. They have serious concerns about these regulations. I've outlined those. So Senator Fawcett is right when he says that the consultation process for these regulations has been long and almost dysfunctional. We simply cannot go through this process again, Mr Acting Deputy President. We cannot sit and wait for improvements to be made, because will it be another 5 years or 6 years, or will it be 60 years before this process is revisited? We need to take a proactive stance and push for something better, and now is the time and now is the opportunity to do so. I hope that the government will not let CASA wipe this task off its books. I hope from Senator Fawcett's comments that the government will be pushing for a continual consultation and a review process, and not leave these issues at a dead end. And I hope that this instrument will not become another regulatory dead end, with all the implications it has for airline safety and passenger safety in this country. I urge my colleagues to support this disallowance motion.